Peace, 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 love, light and healing, peace, love, light and healing, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in, blessings. Baruch atah, Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Baruch atah, bless y'all. Climb on in, climb on in. I know I'm a day late and a dollar short. I told y'all I was going to go live yesterday and talk about diabetes, but, you know, I do a lot of work, so I couldn't get my work and my clinicals and my courses done. I actually turned in all of my homework late today. Hopefully they're still accepted, but I spent the last 2 days doing a lot of homework. So hopefully the university still accepted though. But if they don't, oh well, we just got to do it again. You know what I'm saying? But hey, y'all climb on in. So today we're going to be talking about diabetes. We're going to be talking about kidney disease. We're going to be talking about glaucoma, cataracts, weight gain, liver malfunctioning, kidney malfunctioning, everything to do with diabetes, or what they call hypoglycemia 1 and 2. So if you got your pens and if you got your pads, climb on in. We finna get straight to it. And I want to help y'all out. I think if we truly understand, understand what diabetes really is, I think we can overcome it. All right. And for those that don't know, diabetes just means sweet urine, because usually when sugar accumulates or glucose accumulates in high levels inside of the bloodstream, once the kidneys deal with it and filtrate it out, it makes your urine smell like a sweet smell. And that's what diabetes means, sweet urine. So once y'all all in, once y'all got y'all pens, once y'all got y'all pads, type in some 9s and we gonna get it in. But I do want to say this, because a lot of people have been getting scammed by fake pages of me. If it does not have a blue verification check next to the Yahki Awaken or next to the Yahki Rapha Elohim, my government name, then it's not me. Automatically assume it's not me. Automatically, if they messaging you back, it is not me, family. I don't have a Telegram. I don't do Cash App. I don't do Vimeo. I don't have a Twitter. They banned me from Twitter. I don't have a TikTok. They banned me from TikTok. All of my Facebook pages are verified. My YouTube page, Yahki Awaken, is verified. This Instagram page that I'm on right now is verified. It has a blue check, and you can hit the check and check the verification code. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people pretending to be me, and y'all calling the clinic and calling the warehouse facility mad at us, thinking y'all got a package from us. You don't have a package from us. If you had a package from us, you will have an actual order number connected to www.yahkiawaken.com, because that's the only way I do business, unless you come to the clinic and you speak to me face to face and you able to touch and grab me. It's not me. What they're doing now is they're even using AI, where they'll take a clip from like this video right here, and they'll take certain words out of it and put it in a sentence, and then they'll FaceTime you with that video, and y'all are even getting got with that when the words don't even be matching my lips. Y'all have to have spiritual discernment, family. Be very, very, very cautious on spending your money with anybody, especially somebody over the internet. I don't care if my name's on it. If you hear my voice, it's not me if it's not a blue verified page, family. And if it's not www.yahkiawaken.com, it is not me. My link in the links to my website is in my bio. In this bio on the verified page. The phone number is right there. All right, I just wanted to say that. So look, let's get to it. Yes, spiritual discernment is very, very, very important. They are getting people for thousands and thousands of dollars. I hate, that y'all got to keep learning these lessons, but I tell y'all all the time that if it's not from a verified platform or verified page, then it ain't me. And it seems like that y'all are still going to, y'all want to get finessed or something. I understand y'all desperate because y'all sick and y'all need healing, but don't be stupid though. All right, so let's talk about diabetes. Let's talk about diabetes. Y'all type in y'all 9s, let's do it. Once I see the 9s, we're going to get it started. Let me light up my Palo Santa. Get some good energy flowing up in the building. And we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to pull out the cadaver too, because I got to go over and explain the anatomy and the functionality or the physiology of the actual pancreas. Yes, that's a chauffeur in the back. I would pull it, but I don't feel like. Matter of fact, I need to turn my light on anyway. Hold on. Let me get some lights back here. guess it don't want to work. But yeah, this is a beautiful chauffeur that I got from Israel. Beautiful, right? If y'all look at this room, this whole entire room is a conglomerate of Egypt, Mishraim, or what they call ancient Kemet, and ancient Israel, or Yashalim. These are the two main focus and spirituality practices that I've been in my whole life. I started off as a Kemetic priest, and then I started realizing more that, like, okay, not only do we come from that background, but I come from a very, very religious Hebrew Israelite background. So this is what made my consciousness the way it is. So I figured that I'll make a set when I'm speaking to my elders about good topics. That's my mindset. So if you look around, this whole thing is a bunch of spiritual stuff. I know y'all thinking like Yahki is into spiritual horism. It's not horism. These are literally all of the steps that I've been through my life to bring me to where I'm at now. So I think it's a beautiful thing. All right, so let's do it. So diabetes. So what diabetes is a pancreas malfunction. I'm going to say it again. Diabetes is a pancreas malfunction. So write that down, diabetes, and then write down pancreas malfunction. I'm going to show you how diabetes, or high blood sugar, or what you will call insulin resistant, is causing a bunch of your so-called diseases and causing a bunch of your other organs to malfunction that's in your body. Okay, so when you look at the pancreas, we're going to get straight to it, y'all. So when you look at the pancreas, this is the stomach, and on the back of the stomach, a part of what you will call the duodenum. The duodenum, or what they call the duodenum, doctors, is a different dialects. Some of it call it the duodenum, some of it call it duodenum. I'm going to say the duodenum. It's a 9-inch intestinal tract that's actually connected to your stomach that goes into what you will call your small intestines. So this is that tract. Now, if you look at the stomach, once the food goes down the esophagus and it goes, and so say, we're just going to follow the mouth. You eat a piece of food. When you eat this piece of food, your first processing mechanism is chewing. All right, so you're going to chew the food, and if you super chewing the food properly, you're going to chew that food till it become like a fluid-like substance. As you chewing that food, your salivary glands is going to be secreting something called amylose and something called pectin. Amylose and pectins are alkaline enzymes that is made to break down fructose and glucose. All right. Not all these crazy proteins. That's when you get to the actual stomach part. So as you chewing, you already producing alkaline enzymes that's supposed to break down alkaline forming foods. So if you're not eating alkaline forming foods, then the amylose and the trypsin, which break down alkaline foods that you put in your mouth, will not break them down. So then you swallow them. Once you swallow this food, it goes down the esophagus. And as it's going down the esophagus, a bunch of mucus is being secreted through the esophagus to wrap around the food to prepare it for the stomach. All right, it's going to pass a door called the cardiac sphincter. And then once it passes the cardiac sphincter, due to you having the adequate amount of magnesium, you're not leaving parts and stuff in there. It passes the door called the cardiac sphincter. This door closes, then it goes inside the stomach. When it gets into the stomach, it goes inside of the body of the stomach. Then it goes inside the fungus of the stomach. Once it get there, you have these goblet cells and mucus that mix with something called pepsin. Pepsin is where you get Pepto-Bismol at. It's an actual enzyme called pepsinogen. These things mix together and it creates something called hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid further break down your vegetables and your fruit and grain material. It will only halfway break down your meat material. It's not hot enough or high enough to fully break down polypeptides or super complex proteins. All right, so I'm gonna let you know that right now. And if you're a meat eater and you eat meat, you are not you might be ingesting your food completely, but you damn sure not digesting or absorbing or utilizing your food completely. You're not. So now this is where the pancreas come in play at. While the food is inside of the stomach breaking down, is actually going to pass through what you will call the pyloric sphincter. So this is the pyloric sphincter. Remember, this is the cardiac sphincter that shuts the esophagus off from the stomach. Once the food is done heating and breaking down into little bitty microparticles and macroparticles, now it's getting ready to be absorbed. So what's going to happen is you're going to go through something called peristalsis, and this is when your stomach muscles start contracting and dilating to push the food. So the food is going to start moving through the pyloric sphincter. Once it passes the pyloric sphincter, it goes into something called the duodenum. The duodenum, again, is about 9 inches long, and it's about 1 inch in width. And inside the duodenum, you have billions, not millions. You have billions and billions of bacteria. Candida albicans. You have coccus inside of there. You have bowel bifidum bacteria, bacillus. You have many, sometimes Helicobacter pylori. See, H. pylori is cool when it's in the duodenum. H. pylori becomes starts wreaking havoc on the body when it passes the pyloric sphincter and it goes into the stomach, because it starts eating away at the fungus in the wall of the stomach, eating through the mucosa membrane, and it causes acids to start leaking out, giving you leaky gut, giving you all types of colonitis, and giving you all types of ulcers and things like that. But as long as these bacteria is in this 9-inch area that I'm talking about, they do their job. They really cool, to be honest with you, and they help you live, because these bacteria helps you ferment and further break down your food, for they can get the glucose load. So once the food is broken down by the stomach and it moves through the pyloric sphincter and it goes into the duodenum of the duodenum, now all of these micro and macro molecules have to uptake. So a further fermentation process will happen inside the duodenum. And inside the duodenum, you have these little bitty villi fingers. And then deep within inside of these little bitty waving hairs or fingers is trillions and millions of bacteria that goes up and take the food. And then what happens is it brings them to the blood capillary. Now, what I want to show you is this. The food is sitting in acid for a period of time, hot enough to break down, right? So once the food is sitting inside of the stomach and the acid is breaking it down, it's acidic coming into the actual pyloric sphincter. Passing the pyloric sphincter, coming into the duodenum. The food is still piping hot. So what happens is the pancreas, which sits on the back of the stomach, has to cool the food down. So what it does is it produces something called sodium bicarbonate. And all sodium bicarbonate is baking soda. Sodium bicarbonate is an alkalining enzyme agent. So sodium bicarbonate will start being manufactured by the pancreas. And what happens is, after the manufacturing of sodium bicarbonate through these vessels, you see the blood vessels you see the vein and you see the arteries on the back of the pancreas leading straight back into the duodenum. So what happens is, when it's coming out piping hot, it's going to start secreting sodium bicarbonate in the duodenum to neutralize and buffer out the acids to get your blood ready to take the food, because these micro and macro molecules can't go inside of the bloodstream hot, because it will change the blood pH, and then you will die of what you will call acidosis. So the pancreas is basically a functional tissue that makes your body alkaline, that alkaline your food. Not only do the pancreas do that as well, but the pancreas have sensors that it secretes inside of the duodenum, and it measures the sugar molecules that's inside the duodenum. That way, when the bacteria uptake and absorb all of the sugars and the glucose and the fructose, well, I'm just say glucose. We're going to talk about fructose a little later. What's going to happen when it has a sensor and it sensor or measure how much glucose is in the food that you eating, you have something called the islets of Langerhans. Let me show you this. So the islets of Langerhans is right here. All right, which is inside of the pancreas. And I wanted to let you know that the pancreas is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. We've been talking about this for these last lessons. The pancreas is in control by a nervous system that's a part of the autonomic nervous system, which is your adrenal glands. And I'm going to show you that down adrenals cause diabetes. That's what we're getting to. So look, you have something called the autonomic nervous system. You have something called the islets of Langerhans. So the islets of Langerhans is inside of the pancreas. So you have something called alpha cells. So what alpha cells produce is glucagon, right? And glucagon is a hormone that basically rises the blood sugar or the glucose. Then you have something called a beta cell that produces insulin. Insulin doesn't lower blood sugar. What insulin does is it alerts the muscle cells and it alerts adipose tissues or adipocyte cells and other blood cells for they can open themselves up for it. It acts as a key mechanism. So say if you have so let's just do it like this. We're gonna say now B is glucose, right? Now B is glucose. My building I am is the actual cell. Now B don't have the keys. So in order for not B to have the keys, he got to get his son Lane to bring the keys to unlock the door. Cause I don't know he's coming in, right? Cause I'm the cell. I don't know he coming in. So what he do is he's going to call Lane, which is his son, and Lane is going to bring him the keys to open the door for he can walk into the actual building, which is the cell. So if you look at what insulin is a hormone that acts as a key to unlock the basal membrane of the cell for sugars like glucose can allow itself in, and then this glucose can go through its Krebs cycles, and it can go through what you would call respiration or the respiratory chain reaction, and you can basically create carbon dioxide and water for you can have fuel and ATP for the mitochondria can give the cells vitality and energy for you to live. You see that? So insulin acts as a key mechanism. Then you have something called alpha, beta, and then what's the next one, y'all? Alpha, beta, and what? Delta. You have something called the delta cells that's in the islands of Langerhans. This produces a hormone called simiotostatin. Now what simiotostatin has a growth hormone in there. So people that are short, like me, I'm only 5'6", but I used to have diabetes. You see that? Because you actually have a growth hormone, a GRF factor, growth hormone factor inside of the pancreas. So if your pancreas is not working properly, it will stop you from growing. Or if your pancreas is not working properly, it will grow you too big because there's growth hormones inside the pancreas. Not only that, you have a mixture of insulin and glucagon up in there as well. So that's the alpha cells. The alpha cells raises the blood sugar. The beta cells actually produces insulin and open up the cells for glucose can make it inside of the cells for you can burn efficient energy. And then the delta cell is a growth hormone. Now, you have to ask yourself, what will tire out the pancreas or mess up the pancreas? The overuse of this thing. So let's just say you're constantly eating. You don't intermittent fast. You don't have a proper eating schedule. You're supposed to eat at the same time every single day, y'all. The same time. The body do not like you being out of circadian rhythm. If you're going to break your fast and eat at 12, you should eat at 12 every single day. You shouldn't eat at 12 one day, eat at 5 the next day, then eat at 6 the next day. This throws the circadian rhythm or the biological gene clocks of the cells that make the pancreas off. So what happens is, first, you eating at all times of the day. You're not consistent with a schedule. Your body has a biological calendar and your body have a biological clock. So if you eating off schedule every day, the pancreas is actually secreting not only these hormones, but these enzymes off schedule every day. And since this is off, this tricks the clock of the body. So now since it's tricking the clock, what it does is it weakens the pancreas. Now, not only that you eating at just different times of the day, you don't fast, you don't drink the right amount of H3O2 or water, you eating too many processed foods that have processed sugars in it. And these processed sugars are very, very high in glucose. And not only that, in dextrose and maltose and pentose, all of these different complex sugars or complex saccharides, should I say. You are a simple vehicle. You're only supposed to be eating monosaccharides. And what mono mean is one. Saccharides mean sugar. A monosaccharide is glucose. A monosaccharide is galactose, which is inside of the woman's breast milk. Another monosaccharide is fructose. But we're going to talk about fructose later because fructose is the way you heal your diabetes. And we do this all the time. And I even show y'all a testimony on the page where she was on insulin pens and all of that. And she's not on that anymore because we help her facilitate her healing by way of eating nothing but fruits and taking herbs. She went off the glucose. And then I can show y'all another one where he just went on a high nutritional ketogenic plant-based diet and that worked the same way. But we're going to talk about that towards the end. So since you eating these highly processed, ultra processed sugars, and these sugars are too complex because you are simple ancient being that's supposed to be eating simple sugars. You are a simple ancient being that's supposed to be eating simple amino acid, not complex polypeptides and proteins, not complex polysaccharides and disaccharides and trisaccharides. You see that? What happens is the sugar get in the blood. And since the sugar can't break itself down properly while it's in the blood, it builds up. Since you eating at the wrong times of the day, your pancreas is constantly secreting what, y'all? Beta cells. These beta cells is producing insulin. Insulin going up and down all day. The pancreas is saying, produce insulin. No, produce glucagon. No, produce insulin. No, produce glucagon. After a while, the pancreas get worn out. And it stops communicating. It stops communicating with the adrenal glands because the adrenal glands keep telling it to do something and it done tired and wore itself out, right? So what happens is this. You never stop eating. That sugar stay inside the bloodstream. You never get that sugar inside of the bloodstream or inside the muscle cells or inside of the fat tissues. So the sugar starts to accumulate. Now, I don't know if you actually looked and studied sugars, but sugars are crystallines. Have anybody heard of a crystalline sugar molecule? Just type in 9s. And I'm going to show y'all what a crystalline sugar molecule is, meaning that sugar is already calcified. It's already calcified. Sugar have no business being in the bloodstream. It needs to be inside of the cell because if it's not inside of the cell and it's in the bloodstream and it's looked at as a crystalline calcified structure, the body is going to automatically think it's an invader. So guess what happens? And just if y'all think I'm lying, hold on, let me just put it up here. I'm going to do it like this. Is sugar a crystalline structure? Matter of fact, just in case y'all think I'm lying, let me say glucose. Get even deeper. Is glucose a crystalline structure? Type that. Is glucose, I don't know why it ain't doing it for me. Glucose a crystalline. Tell me if it pop up. All right, it popped up on mine. Check this out. It says what it say? It says yes. Go, if you can read it out loud now.
Yes, glucose is considered a crystalline solid at room temperature, meaning it can form crystals. When in solid form, it is a monocrystalline that can exist in different crystalline varieties like a D-glucose or a BD-glucose.
There you go. So if you do the right knowledge and the right study, you see that glucose is a crystalline structure. It's actually hard. Where do you think cataracts come from? Cataracts is nothing but solidified crystal glucose that covers the eye. What do you think glaucoma is? That's when this glucose start blocking blood vessels and it builds up oncotic pressure in the back of the retina and the back of the optic nerve and you start losing your eyesight. So when sugars is in the blood, you have crystals in the blood. These crystals need to be broken down properly and inside of your cells, your muscle cells, inside of your fat cells, or what you call adipose tissues or adipocytes, or it needs to be inside the blood cells for you can go through this respiration chain to yield energy. If your pancreas stop working, and I'm going to tell you your main reason why your pancreas is not working, these crystals stay inside of the bloodstream. And guess what they do? They solidify and they crystallize. And when they crystallize, they stick to the blood pressure. They stick to the blood vessels and then they create pressure. That's the reason why if you diabetic, most diabetics end up with kidney disease. Why is that? Most diabetics end up with high blood pressure. Why is that? Because these crystallines are literally sticking to the side of the vessels and the arteries, creating this hydrostatic and oncotic pressure. And now the blood has to force its way through the vessels. And then when it forces its way, it breaks up these crystallines. But guess where they end up at? They end up in the kidneys. So now since these crystals are in the kidneys, you end up with kidney stones. You thinking that it's calcium stones, but it's really a calcium mixture of sugar crystallized. So now you rupturing the nephrons. You see that? You rupturing the glomerulus. You rupturing the actual cortical nephrons. And now you have kidney damage. And the crazy part about this is if the sugar builds up too much, the liver is going to be alerted. So the liver going to be like, damn, I got all this damn sugar inside the blood that is not only damaging my venous system, but damaging my arteries. Not only is it damaging that, it's accumulating fat because it's making me produce estrogen for fat can open up and allow these crystallized in for it can store all of this waste. And then it's going to say, well, what I'm going to do with all that fat? Let me put it on top of my liver. So now you get fatty liver disease. Fatty liver disease turns into what? Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now, alcoholic fatty liver disease turns into what? Cirrhosis of the liver. You see what I'm saying? So all of these things that are going on is because you have too much sugar inside the blood, sugar, glucose. Now, I just want to run this through y'all slow. So your kidney disease happens when you eating all of these sugars and the pancreas go out. And the reason why the pancreas go out is the first one is called parasites. All right. This parasite is called pancreaticum fluke worms. If you think I'm lying, let's spell it out. Now, B, would you spell this out and spell it? It's PANCREATICUM pancreaticum fluke worm in diabetes. And I want you to read that. Pancreaticum fluke worm connection to diabetes. And this is a fluke worm that starts off as a pleomorphic bacteria that's a part of your white blood cells that can get 2 inches big, and it will burrow itself into the pancreas and shut your pancreas functioning down. Let me know once you got it, and I'll be and read it to them.
Okay, the pancreatic fluke worm has a thick body and are 8.
They said, will you scoot up more? They said they can't hear you.
Oh, they can't hear me. Okay. The pancreatic fluke worm has a thick body and are 8 to 16 millimeters long and 6 millimeters wide. They are parasites of the pancreatic ducts and occasionally of the bile ducts of sheep, pigs, goats, buffalo, and cattle in Madagascar, Europe, Asia, and South America.
And these are zoonotic worms, and they are prone to human beings. And you know how many things we get rid of out of humans? So the pancreaticum is an actual fluke worm that invades your pancreas, and it stops your pancreas from functioning. That's the first thing. So the first things first. And guess what invite them in? What invite them in is you eating all of these sugars, because you need something to help you process and break these things down. They go through something called fermentation. These sugars are so complex, Candida albicans can't break them down. So Candida albicans will pleomorph. Would you please look up the word pleomorphism? They need to learn this word too. The Candida albicans will pleomorph, and they will shapeshift. They can turn into ascarids. They can turn into chondrids. They can turn into microzomas. They can turn into fluke worms. They can turn into tapeworms. They can turn into all these things. Pleomorphism.
Pleomorphism is a term that has multiple meanings. Microbiology, the ability of some microorganisms to change their shape, biological functions, or reproduce modes in responses to environmental conditions.
So depending on what state you put your body in, these microzomas that's already in your cells, they're a part of what you would call your immune systems. They can shapeshift and pleomorph themselves. They can get big, small, and they can change their role depending on the terrain. So if you are eating too much sugar, glucose, for instance, and these glucoses is building up, and then these glucoses mixed with all types of pentose and maltose, because you like your malt liquor. That's where you get maltose from. And you like all of these different sugars from ultra processed foods and not natural things like fruits and vegetables. What's going to happen is the Candida albicans and the lactose bacillus cannot break them down. So they will literally join themselves together and pleomorphisize themselves and get bigger just to be able to break these things down. Now, once they break them down, they become addicted to the fermentation process, so they don't want to go back to these small little granulocytes no more. They become fluke worms, they become chondrids, they become ascarids, they become all these other things, and then they make their way into the bloodstream, or they make their way inside the tissues and jump from tissue to tissue, end up inside the pancreas. Now it's in the pancreas and it's malfunctioning your islets of Langerhans. Your islets of Langerhans is now damaged. The alpha cells is now damaged. The beta cells, which is your insulin production, is now damaged, and the crystallized, since it's inside of the bloodstream and inside your tissues, sugar eats away at the nerves. That's all neuropathy is. That's all neuropathy is. Now, B, I want you to look up neuropathy connection to diabetes. And it's going to tell you these crystallized sugars actually ferments, and its fermentation breaks down into acids if you don't get them out of the body. If they're not even if they're utilized by the cells properly, it still ends up as carbon dioxide, which is a what? Metabolic combustion. It's a byproduct that can't stay inside your body long. Go ahead and read that.
Diabetic neuropathy is a type of nerve damage that can occur in people with diabetes. High blood sugar levels. High blood sugar levels. Damage the small blood vessels that supply nerves, preventing nutrients from reaching to them. This can cause nerve fibers to become damaged or disappear.
You see that? So high blood sugar damages nerves. High blood sugar damages blood pressure. Damages blood vessels. High blood sugar damages blood arteries. High blood sugars damage the eye vessels. Look up neovascular glaucoma. Neovascular glaucoma. Now check this out. Check out how these crystallized sugars and it mixed with something called retina proteins start leaking from the eyes because the pressure from the sugar cutting off blood circulation causes oncotic and causes hydrostatic pressure. So it blows the vessels of the eyes up. These crystals and these retina proteins mix themselves together and form an actual a hard calcification over the eye. That's cataracts. When it detaches from the retina and it detaches from the optic nerve, that's glaucoma. All this is coming from sugar, acids, and proteins. Go ahead and read that.
Vascular glaucoma is known as neovascular glaucoma. It is a type of glaucoma that occurs when abnormal blood vessels form in the eye, blocking drainage and leading to increased pressure.
And this is called neoretina angiogenesis. Neoretina angiogenesis, where it will force the eye to grow new blood vessels because the old ones ain't working. And these blood vessels send more pressure to the eyes. Look, all of this is because of your food and what you eating. All this. You wouldn't have pleomorphed the bacteria to pleomorph into organisms like chondrites, to organisms like ascarids, to organisms like flukeworm, pancreatics and flukeworm, if you was eating properly. You see that? All of these crystal lines, or what you would call glucose sugar crystals, wouldn't build up and even block the blood vessels if you was eating properly. All of this is 98% of your diabetic issues is because what you sticking inside of your mouth. And let's not talk about the weight gain. Remember, I don't believe in a such thing as being fat. I believe that you have a waste problem. And if you lose waste, W-A-S-T, you lose weight, or you will lose your waist. You see that? So the only reason why you're obese in the first place is because you accumulating and holding on to sugars, hormones, and toxins. That's the whole reason why you get fat, or what they call being overweight or being obese. The body produces more adipocytes or adipose tissues to hold on to basically overproduction of hormones, overproduction of estrogen, overproduction of toxins. Obesity is a healing mechanism. You are fat because the body is trying to heal itself. And the body knows that if all of this metabolic waste byproducts hit the bloodstream, you will die of toxicity. You will die of acidosis. So the body is smart enough to produce these adipose adipocyte cells and to engulf the toxins, to engulf the hormones and hold on to them until you do the proper thing, which is intermittent fast, eat right, take some herbs, do some colonics, get all of that boo-boo out of your body for your cells can breathe again and get the adequate amount of oxygen and minerals and nutrients again. See that? So all of this is a byproduct of eating too many processed, ultra complex sugars. Eating out of whack. Don't have a daily schedule. And this is why daily schedules is so important. And I'm going to upload the daily schedule video from my seminar tomorrow. I promise y'all have it on there. This is why having a daily schedule is very, very important. And following these guidelines is very, very important. So most of y'all have fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, cirrhosis of the liver, because you have diabetes. And did you know that diabetes is like 1-in-1 with cancer? And then you can't separate diabetes from high blood pressure, because diabetes causes high blood pressure, because we see what these sugars being left inside the bloodstream do to the kidneys. We see what these sugars being left inside the bloodstream do to the retina of the eyes, do to the optic nerve of the eyes. We see what they actually do to the nephron of the kidneys. We see what it do to the liver. We see what it do to the teeth. Most of your teeth problem, yes, these caries that's inside of your teeth is because of leftover sugars. These sugars are bringing on bacteria and acids and breaking down the enamel of your teeth, allowing these openings, and then bacteria inhabits these things, go through different meridian pathways, end up at your heart, and you will literally have heart disease, blaming it on something when it's really just you got a messed up tooth. Or you have a certain specific type of cancer, and then you will get one of these meridian pathway connected teeth removed, and then the cancer go into what you would call spontaneous remission. What about that? What about Dr. Cedric Brown? He had heart disease. His heart was only functioning at what they say 27%.
Yeah.
He ended up pulling a molar. He pulled a molar, and his heart disease went down, and his functioning of his heart shot back up to 76%. All because of a tooth. But this stuff starts because decay. This stuff starts because of decaying. Decomposition of the cells, mold, lack of oxygen, and having all of these complex sugars is one of them. And that's what I keep trying to show y'all and tell y'all. We are simple beings. We need simple sugars. We need monosaccharides. The first monosaccharide and sugar that you will ever get is from your mother's breast milk. That is called galactose. Did you know galactose was a sugar? Lactose. So if you lactose intolerant, that means that you're old enough now. Your body is done producing things for you to have milk. So you have built up a tolerance from certain sugar, which is called lactose, which is actually a monosaccharide, just not for you. That's why you're supposed to wean the baby off the breast by the age of 3, because the baby is no longer producing those type of enzymes to break down that sugar anymore. He have moved on into fructose. And then as he get older, he can take some glucose from vegetables. But you are a primary frugivore, and you eat vegetables and nuts and seeds and grains here and there, family. And this is the truth that anatomy speaks for and show it. But we have been taught culture. We have been taught politics. We have been taught political gains from a European construct and concept. So we think food is what y'all finna be eating tomorrow. That's not real food. That soul food will actually capture and imprison your soul. And then you will be 45 years old, stuck in a prison you call the body, with needles and pains and on insulin pens and blood pressure high. You taking all types of medicines and metformins and statin drugs, and you got to get your feet cut off because sugar done blocked up your arteries, and you have poor circulation and you can't breathe. You on all different types of steroids because your lungs and your respiratory system is not working right because you let another people tell you what food was, and you didn't go into nature and listen to God and let God show you how to eat. Let God show you how to eat. Like, I'm trying to show y'all the psychological damage that have been done not only to my people, but to the whole damn world, y'all. Who told you that was food? And then if you look at these sugars that they're making in laboratories, that they're bleaching and literally pulling everything out of it anyway, these are highly, highly, highly neurotoxic. Highly neurotoxic. And then if you start looking at the sugar and diabetes and autism connection, would you please look up the sugar, diabetes, and autism connection? Let's read that to them. And autism will blow your mind. And then you get your children off these neurotoxins. And they was once non-verbal. They start speaking again. Huh? They didn't know how to deal with their environment. Now they know how to hug on you. Now they call you mommy. You hearing children speak for the first time since they was 2. Once you get them off these toxins, did y'all know sugar cane is damn near worse than cocaine? These are drugs, y'all, and it is killing us, and it's causing you diabetes. What that say?
Yes, there is a connection between autism and diabetes. The risk of diabetes. People with autism have a higher risk of developing diabetes.
That's how I'm going to sip my tea on this one.
Including type 1 and type 2. Some studies suggest that people with autism are at an increased risk of diabetes type 1. Type 2 diabetes, some studies suggest that people with autism are at 146% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
Wow. It's all connected to this sugar because you're eating the wrong type of sugar that's not considered a food. Shouldn't nobody eat this ultra processed bleached white flour, bleached white sugar created in laboratories. The moment that you take sugar and you isolate it and you pull it out the sugar cane, then you heat it, it becomes high fructose corn syrup. The only reason why they call it a corn syrup, because everything that comes from a fructose factor, they call it a corn syrup. Everything that comes from a glucose factor, they merge that in with the corn syrup name too. All high fructose corn syrup mean is ultra processed natural sugar that came from foods. When you play God and you isolate chemistry, it messes the body up. Sugar is supposed to come inside your body as a form of carbohydrates. These carbohydrates are supposed to come in a form of amino acid structures. These amino acid structures are supposed supposed to come with a lipid profile. The lipid profile is supposed to come with macrominerals and microminerals. It's supposed to come with fiber, right? Fibrogen. And it's supposed to come with water. This is how you eat. You eat food holistically. When you take food from nature, then you take them to biochemistry laboratories, what I'm going to call big food industry manufacturing warehouses, and you start extracting things out of there to heighten it, to make it highly addictive, and you start playing God. That's when you kill people. You are dying because you are eating non-whole foods, and you need to start eating whole foods again. So look, let's say this. The damage is done now. You got diabetes. You got kidney disease because diabetes. You have hypertension because diabetes. You're on an insulin pen. You taking a bunch of units of these things a day. You strictly insulin dependent. You insulin resistant as that. You have neuropathy. You have nerve damage. All this because you hyperglycemic, right? The question now is, Dr. Yahki, how do I fix this problem? First thing first, stop eating all ultra processed foods. I want y'all to put this in the comments. Once y'all put it in the comment, I'm going to go to the next one. Stop eating all ultra processed foods. Now, this is if you got any of these things. You got to do this. You have to stop eating all processed, ultra processed foods, period. Once I see that in there, I'm going to keep going. Let me see it. Yes, sugar causes epilepsy. Sugar is known to bring on seizures. We have a lady from Pennsylvania. She went back and she ate some sugary chocolates, and she immediately went into a seizure. We had her on CBD oil. We cleansed her brain up real good. We got the inflammation off her brain, the stem of her brain. She didn't have one episode dealing with us and being on my geogenetic 2 while being on that nutritional ketogenic diet that I had her on. The moment she snuck off and ate them damn cookies, she had a seizure, bust her head open and everything. So sugar increases your chances of seizures with epilepsy. Now, B, please look it up. Let's read it. Sugar and epilepsy connection. Sugar and epilepsy and seizure connection.
Epilepsy and seizure connection.
We're going to let Nabi read that. We're going to get back to this. Go on, read that, Nabi.
A significant connection exists between sugar levels, blood glucose, and epilepsy, where extreme fluctuations in blood sugar, particularly very low levels of hypoglycemia, can trigger seizures in some people with epilepsy. This is because the brain relies heavy on glucose for energy, and sudden drops can disrupt the normal functioning, leading to abnormal electrical activity.
Yeah, now that's hypoglycemic. Do hyper. They got like 15 articles on that. And then as you
hyper,
go and look that up, because I want to do these next ones. But don't forget, yes, read that so they can get that down. All right, so we talked about that. So you have to get off all ultra processed foods. Once you get off all ultra processed foods, you're going to eat all whole foods. Whole foods. These are foods that are still intact the same exact way after you pull them out of the ground or off the tree. Now, the beautiful thing about fructose is this. Fructose do not need the actual pancreas. Now, there's a catch-22 to this, because most people that's hyperglycemic already have a liver condition. And if you have a liver condition, the last thing I'm going to put you on is any type of fructose, even if it's natural, what you would call natural fruits. Because what's going to happen is fructose goes straight to the actual liver. It's called cellular invasion. Cellular invasion. It's going to invade the cells, and that's how it uptakes, and that's how you go through your Krebs cycle that way. So usually, if you have a liver condition, I will put you on a high ketogenic plant-based diet. These are things like avocado. These are things like the cruciferous family, like broccoli. These are things like asparagus. These are things like all the stuff that we've been taught that we ain't supposed to be eating because they're non-alkaline, which came to be not true, doing deeper studies and showing all the scientific articles and really bringing out not only from our experiments and from doing our clinical trials and, taking these things to our laboratories, but there's 27 other doctors and improving these things too, that the broccoli is alkaline forming. It is now, yes, it is a hybrid, but 99% of the foods that you eat is a hybrid. So we can't play that game. But yes, it's alkaline forming. It's an alkaline food. These are facts and we can prove these things. So when you go on a high ketogenic diet, and you get all, and you make sure that your glycemic index level is low. And what I mean by a low glycemic index, I mean 45 and below. Never go over 45. So if it's a glycemic index above 45, when you look it up, don't put it in your mouth. Don't put it in your mouth at all, because that glucose from there is going to be in the bloodstream sitting, forming and making crystallines, because your pancreas is already down because of pancreatic flukeworm, and because it's not corresponding with the adrenal glands no more, and this is going to cause all of your issues. So if you find foods like, for instance, blueberries have a very, very low glycemic index. Strawberries have a very, very low glycemic index. You see what I'm saying? Start looking at stuff like that. Most of your nuts have very low glycemic index. Avocados, very low glycemic index. Lentil beans, it's particularly the green lentils, and lentil beans is not a beans, it's a fruit. That's have a very low glycemic index. I think it's right at 45 when you cook it. Green plantains, not in its ripened form, but green plantains have a very low glycemic index. So what you need to do is you need to study up on all plant-based low glycemic index foods, and these need to be the foods that you consuming. And then what you need to do is you need to test them. And if these low glycemic index still raises your blood sugar, that means that you have fat on your liver. And if you do have fat on your liver, then don't go to all fruits, because it's going to make your liver more fatty. Stay with the fatty acid foods, or what you would call the plant-based ketogenic foods. It works like a charm every time. Now we have to address this pancreas, and we need to kill this pancreaticum flukeworm that's inside the pancreas. Off back, I'm going with greater wormwood. I'm finna get me some wormwood, and I'm getting it fresh. I don't want wormwood in its dry form. I need it in its holistic form. All right, we're going to mix that with some fresh cloves. So wormwood and fresh cloves. We got to mix it with the fresh cloves. We're going to put some cinnamon bark in there. And the reason why we're putting whole cinnamon bark in there, because cinnamon is known for rehabilitating the pancreas, plus the enzymes inside the cinnamon and the phytonutrients and the phytochemicals that's inside the cinnamon draws out the parasite, because that sweet enzyme reaction that it has inside the body. So we're going to do wormwood, all right? We're going to not only do wormwood, we're going to do fresh cloves. Not only fresh cloves, but we're going to do what, y'all? Cinnamon bark. And then last but not least, not black walnut hull. Black walnut hull is cool for big flukes, but we need to kill the worms of the little flukes, the little baby one, the larva they leave behind. We need green walnut hull, fresh off the tree. Green walnut hull. I sell all of this on the site too if you can't find them, especially green walnut hull, because how many we grow a year on them trees on the farm? We grow thousands and thousands of green walnut hull. So we have a very, very, we got a lot of that, y'all. So now you put all these things together, and it's more potent in tincture form. But the thing about tincture form is these alcohols break down the sugars, and if you got a liver condition, it's kind of bad for the liver. So you're gonna have to do yours in a tonic form and put them in water, all equal parts. You're gonna drink this cup of 8 ounces 3 times a day. Kill that fluke. As you killing that fluke, what you need to do is be stimulating and regrowing the pancreas cells. Regrowing the pancreas cells. We have something called the Pancreas Support Kit on the website. What you can do is go on the website, look at the ingredients, and go make it yourself. Now, that's for diabetes 2. For diabetes 1, we got to go a whole different way. And the reason why we got to go a whole different way for diabetes 1, because you're insulin dependent. Now, when you suffering with diabetes 1, the only way I ever seen people get off their insulin is on an all fruit diet with our geogenetic level 2. And this all fruit diet actually consists of a lot of, all fruit consists of low fructose diet, low fructose fruits. And these are your berries. Berries. Now, you're going to lose a bunch of weight, but you're going to love yourself in the end, and we can get that weight back. Now, let me show y'all this, because I know a lot of y'all be just thinking I be just making stuff up. So we're going to go to my Instagram, because a lot of my healing, I hate calling myself a healer. A lot of healing testimonies we have is still on my Instagram page. And it's a lot of people healing their family members based off of this stuff too. Just changing the diet and getting a few herbs in. And then I'm going to answer some questions for y'all. But let's just go through a few of these healing testimonies. And y'all can hear this from other people's mouths and not just mine. Let's see. What we got here? Did you find it, Nabi?
Yeah, the hyperglycemic seizures.
Yeah, could you come read that? where I find these testimonies. I ain't been posting a lot of them because they be taking my pages down. Look, they banned me completely from TikTok. They banned me completely from Twitter. You know what I'm saying? They messed up my algorithm on Facebook. It's crazy how they doing you, brother. But I mean, it's suspected. It's suspected. So, all right, give me 1 second. Let me find this. And get off them grains. Grains are high carbohydrates that breaks down into a bunch of glucose. Damn, I know they ain't got rid of it, did they? Hold on, y'all. I wonder if they got rid of it.
They've been stealing a lot of them.
That's crazy. Hold on, let me find it. All right, here go one right here. I found one. Let me see if it let me play it.
So, as many of you know...
Okay, hold on.
Hi, my friends. How are you doing? So, as many of you know, a year ago, I almost died. I had a heart attack. My kidneys were failing. My liver and my pancreas were not working. I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I was on about 4 to 5 shots of insulin a day. I was depressed. I was in a lot of pain. I had severe inflammation. It was horrible. I found a page that really saved my life. Yahki Awakened. Yahki Awakened. His advice, his all-fruit diet saved my life. And I am now off of all insulin and feeling wonderful.
She off all
Yahki,
insulin.
Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. We all love you and appreciate you.
And she
Hi, my friend.
and she did this on an all fruit diet. Fruit diet, and we sent her 3 bitters?
Yep.
And we sent her the 3 bitters. Fruit diet, the 3 bitters, and she's no longer on her insulin pen no more. So she did the work. I just provided her with the herbs, provided her with the diet plan and with the knowledge. She the one who did that work, but notice she's not on the insulin pen no more. Showing you that fruits don't cause, the biggest lie ever is fruits causes diabetes. We talking about a different monosaccharide sugar that don't even need the pancreas. It goes straight to the liver. Now, she did have liver issues though, so we had to pick the particular fruits to eat because we didn't want to get her liver more fatty than what it was because she already had, some damage going on her liver. And this was from what was it, about 2-3 years ago? Yeah. I got healing testimonies from 10 years ago on here, y'all, if you really go through my page. What else? Where is another one at? Where is another one? Let me find one more, y'all, for diabetes and people getting off these insulin pens. Here go another one. Hold on. They at the actual doctor's office.
Thank you. My wife is taking care of me.
A1C.
You don't deserve it.
A1C 5.
You hear what he told him? Yeah. He healed the diabetes. The doctors told him he don't deserve it. Did you hear that? Yeah. And this is from a lady that took my information, took the diet, took the herbs, and she helped heal her husband of diabetes. Let me let y'all listen to this. Hold on.
Thank you. My wife is taking care of me.
A1C.
You don't deserve it.
A1C
5.7.
You very happy?
Sugar 114.
You very happy?
Yeah, and it was 108 when we left the house.
Well, it's academic, 108, 114, But the key is 5.7. It's unbelievable. You're not diabetic.
But it's unbelievable. He don't know what the hell.
5.7 is not considered diabetic anymore.
Correct.
Yay!
Just keep doing what you're doing.
I'm keep doing it.
I want to see you in 3 months.
Sounds good.
That's wonderful.
Hey, they minds be blown now.
Thank you to her.
Don't let me start showing y'all these cancer testimonies though. They be like, what did you do? What is his name? I done had doctors call me and I be telling y'all don't give them my name. They be trying to take me out to eat. I just want to learn your ways. I'm like, nah, you trying to get my butt locked up or something. I want to learn your way. How did you do it? See, I thought cancer was a genetic. No, it's not a genetic disease. It's a metabolic disease. You lacking oxygen. So, the testimony's there. I don't upload to Rumble no more either. I don't upload to Rumble no more. It's too many fake pages pretending to be me. But, you know, it's there. Did you find it?
Yeah.
Please read that for him.
Hyperglycemic seizures, right?
Yep.
Hyperglycemic seizures represent a clinical condition with high blood glucose levels, normal or increased serum osmolality, negative urine ketone bodies, and dehydration.
Ooh.
So non-ketotic hyperglycemia is a rare complication of diabetes mellitus where seizures spontaneously resolve with glycemic control.
See? Now check this out. Here go another one. Check this out. Because a lot of people be like, well, you can't eat fruits. Because the whole thing is to put you in a state of ketosis. You know, and if you look at fruits have a ketone background. So I want you to just type in, is fructose that come from fruit a ketone functional group? Is fructose that come from fruit a ketone functional group? Because if it's from a ketone functional group, see, I really did biochemistry. I'm really that, PhD. Then it can bring you into a state of ketosis. They will swear up and down in the textbooks that being on an all-fruit diet can't bring you into a state of fructosis. So then you have to ask yourself, fructoses make you burn ketones. Ketones is what burns fat. That's what makes you skinny and make you lose weight. I don't know no other diet on planet Earth other than abstaining from eating anything where you can lose more weight just by fruit. If you want to drop some weight, go on a fruit fast. You gonna lose butt, thigh, you gonna lose everything you got. Just going on a raw fruit fast. Because it's from a ketone fractional group. Glucose is not from a ketone fractional group. It's from an aldehyde fractional group. Now check this out.
Yes. Fructose, the sugar found in fruit, contains a ketone functional group. It is classified as a ketose sugar because of its characteristics.
Hey, but I'm on their ass tonight. It's my bad, y'all. Because people be thinking they know what they be talking about. It don't be knowing nothing. I had this scientist arguing me up and down. Ketone can't bring you into a state of ketosis because it's too much sugar. It actually raises the sugar in you. I'm like, what are you even? Did you really pay attention in biology and biochemistry? You couldn't have. And then a lot of them is, and I'm not knocking the scientific community. I'm just saying y'all need to start hearing me out. Just because I got long locks, I have dark brown skin, and I got tats on my face, don't mean that you smarter than me. What happened if God just created all of this for me to really get in? Maybe I'm the anomaly here. Maybe I'm that anomaly phenomenon that really got this under control, that really know what he's doing, is going to change the actual real course of history. Y'all better quit counting me out. And I'm not talking to my people. I'm talking about these communities and these tables of the scientific community, because I have yet to be proven wrong on a bunch of stuff. And a lot of these articles and a lot of these experiments, we don't only do ourselves, but we collaborate, and other people are producing these findings as well, y'all. Other people are as well. So now let's get back to it. So I told y'all about the herbs to kill the actual parasite, or you can get the parasitic elimination kit from off my site. You can either use the herbs if you don't have time to make them, then you get the parasitic elimination kit off the site, and then the pancreas support kit that is going to rejuvenate and revamp your actual pancreas. Make sure you do it on a low glycemic diet though. Low glycemic. The glycemic index need to be below 45. If it's over 45, then you can't have it. Like for instance, let's just do this. Ask what's the glycemic index for a banana. Just say glycemic index for a ripe banana. And I'm going to show you why you can't. And if you look on my protocol on my daily schedules, I always tell everybody you can't have bananas while healing because the glycemic index is just so high on them.
Index for a banana.
Mm-hmm. For a banana. And you got to get off the grain, especially rice. These are very, very high in glycemic. So the glycemic is low when you don't cook them. But the moment you put them in a fry pan or you saute them or you boil them, it raises the glucose. This is where you get the word high fructose corn syrup. The reason why it's high because they concentrated in. You concentrated in it by heating it up. Watch this.
The glycemic index of a banana depends on its ripeness, and it can range from 42 to 62.
See, 42 to 62. I told you to stay at what? 45 and below. Do the glycemic index of blueberries, though.
glycemic index of blueberries.
Even wild rice will raise your blood sugar. We'll look that up too.
Blueberries have a glycemic index of 53, which is considered low.
See that? Which is low. So, but that's in its ripened state. It's
Right.
it's usually at a 44. It's usually at a 44. Do the glycemic index
Yeah,
of
44,
yeah. See that? Do the glycemic index of wild rice.
Glycemic index of wild rice.
Uh-huh.
Wild rice has a glycemic index of or around 57.
See that? So it's too high. It's above 45. So that's high. So, and that's another thing. And I'm not knocking nobody, but it seemed like all of the stuff that, that we learned from the holistic health community, the more and more that, you keep studying, you keep doing your own experiments and you experience these things for yourself. And then you start doing the ecological studies. You start doing all these different cohort studies. You start doing these studies, you just start finding out things that you thought was real, it wasn't. So when I first started this thing, I was regurgitating everything that I heard from Sebi. I was regurgitating everything I heard from my personal teacher, which is Dr. Layla Africa. I was regurgitating everything I heard from Morris. I was just regurgitating. I was very, very high off the knowledge. It was something different and it felt good, but I'm a doer also. So I started doing, especially when I started getting into laboratories, going to school, and, I started doing it. I noticed that everything that they said they found, I didn't find. So for about 3 years, I just shut up because I didn't want to seem like I was going against, my own people. I'm like, dang, these are elder black men in the community. And what I'm finding, it don't line up with what they saying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, I don't want to seem like I'm going against them. But then I had a long talk with my mama and my OG. And they was like, look, don't let nobody shut up your mouth. That's not you. That's not you being disrespectful, but it's just showing you that you have found another way, and information updates, and some information is outdated and need to be corrected. So that's when I started speaking. What y'all did was y'all put me against my own teachers and put me against my elders like I was speaking against them, and I wasn't. What you eating for Thanksgiving? I don't celebrate no holiday. We celebrate holy days. I don't celebrate. That's paganism. I will never ever. And then if you look at what Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving. It was a massacre of our indigenous ancestors here in the Americas. So I don't celebrate holidays. We celebrate holy days. You see all of the Hebrew stuff I got in the background, and we damn sure ain't celebrating the massacre and the stealing of our land because we're originally from here. So I would never in my life celebrate no Thanksgiving. And there's nothing to be thankful about on that day for our ancestors and our people. They were killed. They was given man-made viruses. They were shot down by single shotguns. They were pulled and tarred and feathered off their land. And then we was made to believe we was from a whole nother continent, which we're not. They taught us to believe that we was Africans. They changed the word literally indigenous Indian to Native American, which was the Samoyeds, and then they changed us into Negroes, and then Negroes became Black African Americans, and then they associated us with a continent that we not from because we originally from ancient Egypt, which is here in America. We're originally from ancient Israel, which is here in the Americas. Americas is the oldest civilization in creation. And then they connect us back to a continent, not speaking ill against Africans and none of that, because we all associated through genealogy by our melanated skin, of course. But, man, I would never, ever celebrate that, man. That was your ancestors. That was your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather and grandmother that was killed, and that was given viruses, and that was tarred and feathered. You know what I'm saying? And then they had the nerve to give us a Independence Day and all. Man, come on, man. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We know the real history of our people. We know the real history of our indigenous ancestors. We know where we really originate from. And on that day, I'm gonna mourn. I'm not gonna be eating and being a part of this whole ceremonial satanic ritual celebrating the deaths of my ancestors. That day I'm gonna mourn. That day I'm gonna fast. I might shed a few tears. I might pour out some fruit juice for my ancestors. You know what I'm saying? But I won't be eating anything because you eat to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? What am I celebrating? The mass murdering of my ancestors? That's how I'm here. So no, if anything, I'm going to be doing some spiritual ritual warfare against the people that did that to my people on that day. Just saying. Forgive me, y'all. I know I get off topic sometimes, but I seen that I had to say something on it. All right. So what else? What else we need? Did I leave out anything before I started answering questions? We talked about the herbs. We talked about the fruits. We talked about the food. We talked about how the diabetes happened. What else we need? Nabi, did I?
Talk about diabetes 1 and 2. Glaucoma.
We talked about diabetes 1 and 2. We talked about glaucoma. We talked about cataracts. We talked about neuropathy. We talked about the parasites. We talked about all of that. All right, so now I'm gonna open up the chat and look. Let me holler at y'all. Y'all got any questions? Go and ask them. We are not African Americans. We are from the tribe of Ham. I'm not a Hamite. I'm not from the tribe of Ham. I'm a Shemite. I'm from Shem. Baruch Hashem. I'm not a Hamite. I'm not a Canaanite, a Hamite, none of that. Now we all are associated with each other. If you believe in Torah and you believe in the Bible, you know, Noach, you know, we all came from Enoch or Canuk or in Noach and stuff like that. But no, I'm not a Hamite. We Shemites.
Zach, I appreciate you keep saving this live.
How much indican powder should I take? A tablespoon or 1/8? You can do a tablespoon. A tablespoon would be good for you. Do a tablespoon. Go and kick it up a notch. Blessings, goddess. Let me see your face. Oh, what's up, goddess? What's up with you?
Hello.
You was supposed to pull up to the clinic like a week ago. What happened to you?
I thought it was gonna be like patience. I was just worried.
What you got going on? What's going on with you?
Okay, so like everybody was talking about grains. So I just had a couple questions. So when you're talking about the grains, that's mostly for people who are diabetic, or is that for
Well,
everybody?
that's for everybody because, like, for instance, so like if you look at the grain and the history of grains was actually manufactured during the industrial revolution, where they basically they wanted to do high processing yield, so they created these mini dwarf grains, and these mini dwarf grains have so many complex sugars in them and so many proteins that's killing our people. Like for instance, if you look at wheat grains, for instance, icorn is an original grain. They took icorn and they took another wild grass and they mated them. And when they mated them, they put gene selections in them. They spiked them with all types of stuff to make them grow short, for they wouldn't be top heavy. They made them weather resistant, and then they spiked the sugars up to make them more tasty, to be addictive. Well, this created these proteins. The first protein is called wheat germ agglutinin. Wheat germ agglutinin is known to be acidic. It rips through your stomach. It produces more stomach acid in your body, and the molecules from it can break off and pass the blood and brain barrier, and it'll act like different hormones. Like it'll act like different hormones receptors, and it makes you more hungry. That's why the more grains you eat, the more you hungry, because they really don't fulfill you, because it rewards your reward center. Next thing you have is not only that, you got wheat germ agglutinin, you have something called gliadin. Gliadin, Google gliadin.
Gliadin.
Yep, gliadin protein from grains. And after that, Google
Gliadin protein from grains.
Yeah, comes read it. He finna read it to you. Let's just read it off.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Gliadin is a protein found in wheat, rye, barley, and other grains that is a major component of gluten. Gluten is a water-insoluble protein complex.
So stop right there. Water insoluble, meaning that it's water insoluble, right? And it's a complex protein. So when water hits this gluten, it turns into a glucose, which is where it gets its name from, gluten. So it's a glue. So it's very pasty. And you will see a lot of people that eat these develop something called celiac disease. And what it does is it pastes glue around your intestines, and it keeps you from absorbing your phytonutrients and your chemicals and the things that you need to rebuild your molecular structure. So we try to stay away from that. And guess what have the highest amount of gluten in it, or wheat germ agglutinin? Google that as well. After you read that, we're gonna Google that. Guess what have it spelt? So spelt was one of those. Spelt was one of those ones that I thought was a good one. I thought it was alkaline forming, but turns out it's very, very acidic, and it has so much wheat germ agglutinin, gliadin, and so many other proteins that's actually bad for the system. And that's the reason why when I was on a bunch of spelt, when I was going crazy on the diet, I was actually gaining weight on that alkaline diet. So spelt it, barley, what else? Go ahead, finish reading that.
Gliadin is a protein found in wheat, rye, barley, and other grains. That is a major component of gluten. Gluten is a water-insoluble protein complex that can be harmful to people with celiac disease. Celiac disease.
Now, so that was gliding. I want you to look up wheat germ of gluten. Wheat germ of gluten, which raises your blood sugar, causes diabetes, causes high blood pressure, and it can cause kidney disease. And it messes with your brain. Because these molecules, just like estrogen and plastic, microplastic and estrogen, the body don't know the difference. So if you a woman and your estrogen low, but you drinking from plastic bottles and you drinking foods, you eating foods out of plastic containers that you putting in microwaves and stuff, this will raise your estrogen levels. So you'll end up with fibroids, or you'll end up with a thyroid disease, or you'll end up with a corpus luteum cyst or a polycystic ovarian syndrome. And you're like, well, I'm not eating high estrogen foods, but you bringing in too many of those nanoplastics, then your body don't know the difference. Same thing with gluten. The body don't know the difference between gluten and the reward center dopamine. So to pass the blood and brain barrier and literally connect with synapses and receptors, and it'll start thinking for you. I know it sounds crazy, but like you can like really look this stuff up. All right, so let's talk about wheat germ gluten. Hey, look, they say you killing it with the reading. They love it. Yeah, I know he used to be a pastor now.
Wheat germ gluten. Wheat germ contains gluten and should be avoided by people with celiac disease or gluten intolerance. Wheat germ is an embryo of the wheat grain, and it is a nutritious part of the whole wheat kernel. It is separated from the endosperm during the milling process for flour.
And this is what you will call a caryopsis fruit. So you got to try it, because grains are fruits when you get done. Legumes are fruits. Most of the things we eat, we still are really natural frugivores. If you look at most of the side dishes, other than, like the greens that we eat, and of course the meat that we eat, everything else on our plate be fruit. Beans are fruit. So we are really frugivore in nature, even still to this day. The problem now is that we're cooking these fruits and we turn it into high fructose corn syrup, and that's what's messing with our bodies. That's why I was fat 6 months ago. I was a frugivore, but I was cooking all of my food. Once I stopped cooking all of my food or eating processed foods, I lost all of the weight, and of course I got in the gym. So stay away from the grains. There's a book called Grain Brain. I want y'all to Google that, Grain Brain. Download that book. It'll take you on the whole thing through it, how it started off and the barley and stuff was made in Egypt, and how the kings and queens of Egypt was getting real fat because they main exchange of money and food was barley. And it shows that they was dying of diabetes back then from the spelt, because they made spelt back then. How spelt was killing they asses, boy. So just start reading up on stuff like that. But yep, as far as the grains, you got any more questions for me?
And then with the eating nuts, like how often is it okay to consume daily?
So yes, so your daily. So if I say, because I think nuts should be a part of your meal. If you want to die like me, at the most I eat 1 meal a day. Well, I'm gonna say this: I eat at one time a day, and what I mean by that is I eat from the hours of 12 to 6 p.m. and through 12 to 6 p.m. I try my hardest to get in 2 meals, but usually I don't. Like for instance, all we had today is what, Nabi?
Acai bowl.
All I had was a acai bowl, a 24-ounce acai bowl with no what?
No granola.
No grains, no granola, because I don't mess with grains, period. All I had was some dragon fruit for the base. I had me some beautiful almond butter that we made ourselves on it. Some coconut flakes, some blueberries, some blackberries, and what else we had?
Cranberries.
And some cranberries on it. That's all I had, and I'm not even hungry again. So that was a meal that we ate at 1:02. It was literally 1:02 when we ate it. So my next meal was supposed to be at 4, because I don't eat after 6. But since I had to come and go live, I won't eat. I was just going to go ahead and fast until tomorrow. That way I'm still inside of my 18-hour fast, and I only eat for 6 hours of the day. So nuts are good, but this is what I'm saying. Inside of my acai bowl, I had my almond butter. That's considered a nut. And on top of it, I sprinkled a handful of pumpkin seeds, which is considered a seed. So I still got in my simple amino acid structures, of what they're going to call proteins. I'm going to call it carboxylic acid. So I still got in my muscle building factors just inside of that little bitty 24-ounce acai bowl.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Or grains, fruits. Yes, grains or fruits. It's called caryopsis. Now, hit them with it. Hit them with the facts. Or grains considered fruits. You got any more for me?
Nope, that was it. Thank you.
All right, pull up on me. You know where I'm at. Come on, we got work to do.
All right, for real.
All right, peace, guys.
Peace.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me do it like this. Or grains fruit, Nabi.
Yes. Grains are technically a type of fruit. The scientific name for the fruit that has commonly called grain is
Caryopsis.
Caryopsis.
See, look, that's what I'm saying. When I'm an expert when it comes to the name of these fruits, when it comes to the sugar backbones of these fruits, when it comes to the molecular structure of these fruits, the chemical nutrients of these fruits, the phytonutrients of these fruits, it's all right here, y'all. It's here. I don't got no notepads around. This is right here, y'all. So grains are fruits.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Definition. A grain is the seed or fruit of a cereal grass, which is a grass that has starchy grains used for food. Examples: wheat, rice, and maize are all examples of grains which are the fruits of the grass family.
Ooh wee. Boy, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. All right, what else we got? So when you look at wild rice is considered, they call it forbidden grass in Asia. So it's not really even a grain, it's a grass. And then black rice is an actual fruit, it's a grain. But it still got the Caryopsis shell on it, and the endoplasma is hanging on the inside of it. We talking about like what we really talking about, y'all. Here we talking about sex, because that's what they are. We talking about sex for real. When you really think about a fruit is the reproductive part of the plant. That reproductive part of the plant is what reproduces the plant. We talking about sexual organs. Most of the things that we was created to eat the sexual organs of plants, y'all. I know it sounds crazy, but it makes the most sense because in the sperm and in the copulin, which is this pheromone enzyme that makes the vagina wet, is where all of the nutrients is at. That's how you form and create a baby. That's how the egg become fertilized. So most of your nutrients is inside of the reproductive organs. Most of it is. What's up with it, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, brother.
What's your
Greetings, peace
name and
and
where you from?
paradise.
Respect, brother. Peace,
Yes,
peace.
I is Samir. I'm originally from Grenada, but I've been traveling throughout the Caribbean for the past year and a half.
Mhm.
And I always see you going live. I really appreciate it because not much brothers out there really doing it the way you're doing it. You're not just the thing about the community out there. There's a lot of regurgitators. But I realize that that you go beyond, you transcend beyond just being, what people call a regurgitator. You about this thing, bro. You
It
about
really
this
is.
thing. I really appreciate that.
Man, all praises. Respect, brother.
Yes, brother. Blessings. Quick question. What do you know about lymphangiectasia?
The lymphatic system. So I got a question. Is it growing small little knots and lipid tumors around the lymphatic system?
Well, it's more within dilations of the walls of the small intestines
Uh-huh.
and a lot of leakage of protein through the walls of the intestines.
It's the lymphatic system of the actual intestine. So if you look at the intestines have more than 85% of the lymphatic system there. You have the iliac lymph nodes, you have the Peyer's patches. So if you have that going on, that means that your lymphatic system inside of your gut is called gut associated lymphatic system. Would you look that up, Nabi? Gut associated lymphatic systems. Lymphatic tissue, I mean, gut associated lymphatic tissue. What happens is it gets clogged up, and when it gets clogged up, a lot of them bust, and when they bust, it spills out the acids that's inside of them because it's not going through the kidneys, and it starts burning holes within the intestinal wall. What you need to do is you need to open up your kidneys and get your kidneys filtrating. I did a video 2 days ago talking about kidney filtration, brother. If you do that, brother, it'll get you back right. But what you gonna need is for people that's suffering with that, I usually tell them the genetic level 2, and then you need to do a all raw diet. You still can eat vegetables because the vegetables will help sweep and cleanse the gut. Vegetables act as a good GI broom. So I do fruits and vegetables and do it raw. Do that for about 2.5 months. Take that geogenetic too, and that should get rid of your issue. And
Okay.
you need to check your gut bacteria. There is a company called Viome, Viome, where they will send you a kit. And in this kit, you will give them a sample of your stool, you will give them a sample of your saliva and a sample of your blood. And what they would do is they would check the balance of your gut microbiota and of the microbiome that creates your gut. Because usually that happens when there is an imbalance in gut microbials profiles inside of the gut as well. So make sure you holler at that company and buy it. I think it's the $300, but man, it's well worth it because and they get it back to you within 2 weeks. But it literally tell you if you have bacteria off, if you got too many bad bacterias in your gut. I mean, it works wonder. That way you know exactly how to move forward on what to eat.
Mm. That's really vital because, you know, for me, it's been like a kind of guessing game when it comes to the microbiome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you want to take good things for it, but you're unaware of the levels. So I think, you know, knowing the levels like that is going to be a big plus in this situation, you know.
No,
And, you know, it's, the funny thing, you know, this is how the universe aligns, right? Now, I had these questions, and then when I came on the live and I heard you talking about things like gluten and celiac, you know, all these things play a part in this kind of thing, you know.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
facts. So celiac can actually induce it, and that's why anybody that's trying to heal from anything, we automatically tell them get off of all grains, and get off of bananas, things like that. We want you on low fructose fruits, and we want you on low glycemic vegetables. Is what we want you on, because we don't want your sugar to spike, because that always seems to cause issue when trying to heal. And then I notice when the sugar is high, herbs don't work. I've been noticing that too. And you know, I've been doing this for 15 years, and out of my 15 years, I noticed that we get a lot of people have to do the package again and that's why I changed my diet 3 times since I've been doing this. I'm like, nah, we're gonna do this diet. Let's switch over to the plant-based ketogenic diet, because it's hard to revitalize the cell when the blood sugar is high and you have all of those different proteins from plants inside of the actual system. Because we have to remember, plants be in a state of fight or flight. They don't want to be eaten. So, and that's the reason why it produces gliadin. You know, it produces gliadin for insects like the locust and the grasshopper. Literally, the plant thousands and thousands of years ago was getting eaten up by locust swarms and by grasshopper swarms. So it said, let me create a mechanism. So it created something called phytic acid. Phytic acid stops minerals from uptaking in insects. It creates something called glutenin. Glutenin jumbles up the digestive system of insects because it creates a gluey paste. It created something called wheat germ agglutinin. It created tannins. All these things is made to kill pests. But if you eat them the right way, and if you eat them in low quantity, it brings on a lymphatic cleansing detox symptom to you, because the body's going to do everything to get rid of it. And while it's getting rid of these things from the plants, it gets rid of the toxins as well that you've been eating all your life.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, you know. And the next question, when it comes to something like hyperhydrosis, is that adrenals?
So always adrenals, because guess what? You want it, man? Because the adrenals and the pituitary gland and the thyroid is in control of water retention. It's in control of acetylcholinesterol or acetylcholinesterol, acetylcholinesterase, the moving of the lymphatic system. It's in control of gut peristalsis, which is how you go to the bathroom and pee. It's in control of your bladder function, which is how you get rid of your urine or how you poop. It's in control of your heartbeat. It's in control of your breathing. It's in control of everything that runs automatically. It runs on autopilot. Yes, the adrenal glands is damn sure in control of those. So always go after them adrenals and go after them kidneys. Once the adrenals and the kidneys online, then focus on moving the lymphatic system. Once you move that lymphatic system, I don't care what they said it was. We have seen very, very, very good reversals and turnarounds.
Yeah, that's facts, you know. But one of these days, you know, I definitely gotta visit the States again, you know, and I definitely gotta come by and get something done, you know. Yeah.
Pull up on us. And Grenada call Nabi for me all the time. We need to get out there because
they want you to open up a hospital.
They want me to open up a hospital over there too. So we've been Nabi been in contact with y'all for what, about a year now?
About a year now.
So we've been in communication trying to build something. They wanted to give us land out there to grow food. So we actually working something out with y'all right now. And I promise you, brother.
You serious about that?
Nabi talk to them twice a month.
What? So which organization is that you speak to there?
He probably not gonna. Yeah, he gonna keep it on the low.
But it's
okay.
It's actually a politician over there though. We actually speaking with the government over there.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm close with some of the government officials as well down there.
So look, brother, link up then. Look, inbox me real quick if I can send be your number.
Yeah,
And
for
then we can
sure.
exchange
Yeah.
conference. Let's do something because we supposed to be going over there this year. They're gonna fly us out and everything. We're gonna do a small conference. We're gonna look at the land that they want to give us and see what we want to build the medicineless hospital in.
Yeah, that's a good vibes, brother. You know, and real quick, just for the benefit of the people, you know, I'm working on something really, really big for Grenada, you know, which is putting things like this on the forefront, you know, setting up a retreat and wellness center up in the mountains, you know, dealing with spiritual alignment and all different other forms of alignment, you know, trying to reestablish a native tribe, a native nation, an indigenous nation,
Yes.
because that's the only way
Fact.
we're going to survive when society crumbles and falls. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. We just got done. So I'm on a 10-acre farm. On my 10-acre farm, I have a 3,500 square feet house. I just renovated the whole house, added extra rooms into it. We turned it into a retreat. I've been growing my own food for a while now. So, you know, starting next year, we're going to open it up in the spring. You'll be able to come to my farm, be at my healing home, and you'll be able to eat from the land, ride horses. It's going to be something amazing. So we'd love a place like that to do that at. So look, link up, brother. That's going to be beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
definitely, brother.
yeah, man. May the Most High give you strength. Hey, keep
Yeah,
doing what you're
man.
doing. And, hey, man, we love it, brother. We love it.
You too, brother. Peace and paradise. Greetings and
All right,
peace.
peace. Greetings, brother.
Yes, hi, brother.
Blessings.
Bless. Now I'm in this. Now I'm in the trap. Now, how do I
All
get
right, so
out of this?
you hit your screen, your top right is an X. You're gonna log out with
All
the
right,
X. Just
cool,
hit the
brother.
X.
All
All
right,
right,
blessings.
blessings. Respect. All right, we're gonna do one more.
Available, they're saying.
Hmm.
Level 2 not available.
That's because y'all bought it all out. I'll talk to Mama tomorrow, and I'll let Mama to know to update it, and we'll probably add about 20 more to it. But we've been doing real good about getting our packages out, so we don't want to raise it up to 300. Then y'all buy them all out, and then y'all cussing us out a month later. You know,
Right.
we don't want that at all. All right, I'm gonna do one or two more, and we out of here. I'm just going in order.
Yeah.
Blessings, blessings.
Girl.
How you
Oh my gosh.
gonna jump off the phone
Be
like that?
quiet. Because my family just came in from Chicago and I didn't know I got on the live.
Shouts out
But
to Chicago.
Brother Yahki.
Hey,
Brother Yahki.
how y'all doing? Blessings, blessings.
How you doing? Okay. Oh my God, I'm so happy I'm on here. Okay. So my question is, with reflux, is it a cause Barrett's
Yeah,
disease? Where does that come from?
so yes, it can. But when you look at what reflux is GERD disease, is what it is. So acid reflux is the lack of a mineral called magnesium. I was talking about earlier when you swallow your food gives you a door called the cardiac sphincter, and then this door is supposed to close. This door is supposed to keep acid from coming up from your stomach through your esophagus and burning that cardiac area. This is what they call heartburn or cardiac burn. So anybody that's dealing with acid reflux, you eating food that's not breaking down sufficiently, and you have a magnesium deficiency. So if I was you, I would get some magnesium citrate. You know what I mean? Take some magnesium and then make sure that you eating food that doesn't require a bunch of hydrochloric acid to break down. Food that takes a bunch of hydrochloric acid to break down is complex proteins. These are things like meat and things like dairy products. So all animal products and dairy products, just leave them alone and eat cooling foods. Most of your cooling foods are fruits that have a bunch of hydration to them. That's what I do for a while, and then make sure that you get an adequate amount of magnesium, and you will see that the acid reflux will go away. Also, do not sleep on your right side, sleep on your left side. Because if you sleep on your left side, it'll turn your esophagus and your stomach the right way, and it'll keep that acid down. And when you sleep on your left side, make sure you sleep where you elevate it a little bit, for you can keep that acid inside the stomach sac and inside of the duodenum and not moving up into your throat. Because it can cause, if long term GERD disease can cause esophageal cancer. because it
Mm-hmm.
burns and it chews on
Mm-hmm.
the esophagus. So
Right.
hydration. I want you to drink about 45 ounces of liquids a day. If I was do
Mm-hmm.
45 ounces, do 25 fruit juice, and then the other 20 do some H2O, some spring water. Sleep on your left side, sleep elevated. Make sure that you eat more cooling fruits and more cooling vegetables. Stay away from all animal products and stay away from all dairy products, which is going to bring on high acidity. And then make sure that you get you I hate saying the word supplement, but get you a good magnesium supplement, and that'll go away.
It'll go away.
And
Okay. So
did they check you for Helicobacter pylori? Because H. pylori causes that too.
no, I wasn't checked for H. pylori. I did hear about that. But because I worked in a GI clinic like 4 or 5 years ago, it happened. So I'm kind of familiar with it. Um, but I started juicing about 4 months ago.
That's what I'm talking
I
about. So is
I was
this what brought it on?
no.
Because sometimes juicing bring it on if you juicing the wrong thing. And that's why I tell people don't juice acidic fruits or what you would call
Okay.
citric fruits. And that's another thing. You need to stay away from stimulants. Stay away from cayenne pepper. Stay
Okay.
away from chili pepper seasoning. Stay away
Okay.
from sea salt and stay away from like things like pineapples. Stay
Oh,
away from all of it. Now you can have ginger. Ginger will help calm it down. Even though ginger seem like it's
that's
like
my
a harsh citric,
that's my
see,
go-to.
that's what I'm talking about. All right, all right.
That's
Look, she
my
already on
that's
it,
my
baby.
That's my go-to. So it's like I put ginger in everything because I started intermittent
That's
fasting
what I'm talking about.
initially.
What you doing?
And
18
then
6.
I I I am now at 18.6.
That's what
But
I'm
I'm
talking
like
about.
you.
Welcome to the
I
family.
try to eat in that
Yeah.
window, but I don't get 2 meals in. I get one
Well,
meal
didn't I just
and
say
that's
that today? I tried
yeah.
to get mine. I always miss it. So
I
you
don't,
you end up really eating once a day.
yeah.
I be trying to stuff my face, but then even the desire to eat start leaving though because
Nope.
you
You don't
start to
have those
really control.
cravings.
Yeah, your
And
gut is not your guide no more. I
nope,
love it.
it's not. It's not. So I am like with the juicing and things like that. It helped me lose about. I lost almost 38
That's what I'm
pounds in
talking
about
about. I
yeah, in
was
like
one
five
look.
months.
I was 185. How long we been
Mhm.
working out this way? About what? 9 months now. I was 185. I am 148 right now. I weigh 148. So do the math. I lost about the same amount. I went from
Right.
185 to 148 in
Well,
6 months, and I'm never gaining it back because I'm never changing my diet again. I'm comfortable here.
I am too. I feel like I was 214 and then I went down and my level weight is at like 176,
That's what I'm talking
177.
about.
But I'm trying to maintain this weight because now I'm losing so much weight. I find myself
So that's me and not B problem. Me and not B is trying. Me and not B mad right now because he lost another 2 pounds. He want to be. What you say? You want to be at 156?
Yeah, I want to be between 155 and
I don't
160.
want to
So
lose no
look, I
more.
have some, but I created a product called the Gorilla Mix Muscle Up.
Okay.
That will keep your
Okay. I'm
muscle on it. It's the same thing
gonna check
Gorilla
it out.
eat. Just make it. Yeah, go on the website, get the muscle. You don't have to buy all three of them. Get the Muscle Up one. That'll keep your muscle up. It's a one on there that gives you good energy. Then it's one that
Mm-hmm.
it's full of superfoods that got a lot of magnesium in it. So all three of them probably will do you some good. But if you balling on a budget right now, get the Muscle Up and take it before you work out and take it 30 minutes before you eat, and that'll keep your weight on you.
Absolutely. I'm definitely gonna try it out. I'm trying to schedule an appointment with you to come in. My daughter, who she'll be 30 on Friday, she was diagnosed with lupus at 18.
Oh,
So we're gonna try to get
we'll
out
get
there.
her
We gotta see it.
together. We'll get her together. So the clinic is closed right now because I'm finishing my book up.
Okay.
But we opening it back up around January 15th. So if you pop up at the clinic, it's gonna be a closed sign on it. And the only reason why we close, is so I can get this book out because we starting our pre-sales around what they call their Christmas time of the book. So
Right. Right. On there. I got you.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. I'm definitely gonna so we can go on your website and because we live
yeah,
in Baltimore.
yeah.
So we can go on the website and
Yep.
it won't be available to it.
Website for the Gorilla Mix, you can get that
I'm
now.
gonna
The website
yeah,
for the
okay.
clinic, I just took it down until January.
Completely.
Because y'all be booking us up. It'll be 1,000 bookings, and then
I
I
don't
can't be
never
there.
see it open.
Like
Oh my
every time
God.
we open, y'all. That's one thing I do. Y'all, I appreciate y'all support, but y'all always sell me out of everything. So, but I'm gonna put
Awesome.
it back up in January for y'all can book it up though.
I
I
appreciate
appreciate
it. I appreciate it.
it
I
too.
appreciate everything that you do and the wisdom that you give
Thank you.
us.
I
We're
appreciate
so
you.
thankful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, brother.
All right, blessings, goddess.
All right, God bless
Peace.
you.
I like her. She got good energy. All right, we're gonna do one more. One more. It's oatmeal bad. Stay away from them oats. Stay away from oats. Now you can find some gluten-free oats. You know, you can find some gluten-free oats, but you need to let me know where it come from. Like, look, I don't think y'all realize how much I love what I do. This is what I do all day. Now, B, tell them what I did today. What I do today. With the children.
All you did is study all day long. One child on one arm and another child at his foot.
I had the baby at my foot. I had Eli on my lap. I'm doing homework in one end and reading the book in the other hand. This is
all day.
All I do.
10 hours a day.
All I do. All right, let's see. We're going to do one more.
One more good one.
One more good one. One more good one. And then my next live is going to be in a few days. I really want to tackle cancer, y'all. I'm talking about dive deep into cancer. We're going to get deep into cancer. Then the one after that, I'll let y'all pick. But these are ones that everybody keep asking me about. We love it here. I love y'all here. They said we love it here. I love y'all here.
Y'all praise.
Nah, y'all, this is not Heru or Horus. Horus is this way. See that? He over there. This is Thoth. Or thoughts. This thoughts right there. I tried to answer it, they didn't answer it, so somebody else give me a call. I'm gonna keep this live. I didn't say nothing crazy. I'm not on here claiming to cure anything. I'm not a medical physician. I have a doctorate and PhD in natural science and health. I'm a biochemist. I'm in school right now for human biology. That's what I'm doing. I'm a human biologist. I'm gonna have my professorship at the end of the year. I go around, I lecture, I got my own clinic. We don't do alternative medicine either. We do the beginning, the first medicine, which come from God, which is changing your diet and taking fruits and herbs and, leaving yourself to the elements of God, sunlight, magnetism, oxygen, vibration, healing frequency. That's what we do. So, and of course, nutrition and love. So, I don't claim to cure anything. I don't even believe in disease to cure a disease. And that's the whole meaning of my book, y'all. Wait till it come out. Pre-sales is going to be around the Feast of Saturn. That's the real name of Christmas. It's called the Feast of Saturn, where they did some horrific, very, very satanic sacrifices on not only children, but adults and everything else. Y'all need to get a book called Fossilized Customs. It's a book called Fossilized Customs by, I believe his name is Lou White. Fossilized Customs by Lou White. And he will take you all the way back to the ancient Phoenician and ancient Mesopotamian times and show you where these holidays or hallowed days really, really come from and show you who you are serving and worshiping by following and participating in these satanic ritual ceremonies. Make sure y'all check that book out. All right, y'all, I'm finna get up out of here. I love y'all. Peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the gods. Peace to the earth. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'll be live in a couple of days, and we're going to talk about cancer. Peace.